Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
And we're back.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Bernard? You doing good?
Excited to be here. This is going to be an incredible show today. I'm excited.
This is going to be okay. This is going to be good. Listen, I saw the title and I'm thinking to myself, we're about to throw some truth bombs. I'm kind of scared in a way because I don't know what
you think. I'm terrified.
You say you're terrified. Well, listen, let's go ahead and welcome some of the folks that are watching. I see the numbers already going up. Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, All Things Money Matters, with our financial coach, Bernard Alerte. We are live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook. So if you're watching us on the Facebook page, please tell us where you're watching from. And of course, the very first person who's already commenting, my husband, he's like, teach us, coach. I don't know about that, hun. I don't know about
teachers, coaches.
Yeah, we have quite a few coaches. Let's see what's going on. Bernard, go ahead, share with the audience what we have for today.
So excited for this episode. We've been teaching this episode for the past couple of weeks. As you know, we just end up March. March was Women's History Month, so we really wanted to have strong, powerful women around there, share their thoughts on women and finances out there. And I'm so blessed. I have so many strong women around me, starting my mom. My mom's probably the strongest person out there, right? And it's crazy. And I think back with my mom, for example, I saw my mom pretty much ran the finances in the house. My dad, for years, didn't even know how much money he made. He was like, because everything and she ran everything perfectly, did an incredible job. To this day, her being 82, she's like so on point with the money. She knows where everything is, everything goes. So it was a great example. That was the first great example. Then my wife, right? My wife, Eileen Alerte, she's going to be on working with us in the business. She's very strong when it comes to us building our financial future together. So important. So she's gonna be on here, one of our hosts here today. And on top of that is I have so many great friends and business partners that we have fortunate to be involved. Me being in the financial field 27 years. We wanted to have a good friend that we've known for 26, 27 years. I met when I was 10 years old. I'm just kidding.
When you were
10. Right. And her name is Myra Vasquez. She's a tremendously successful in the financial field. He has a strong financial business right now. Inspiration to so many women entrepreneurs out there, women in the financial field. She's produced leaders, women that are successful themselves, also making six-figure incomes, which is awesome. And so she's gonna have a great perspective on her years of experience and in the field also. And also we have also one of our leaders that we're fortunate to have working with us. Her name's Timna Polanco, also regional vice president, actually runs her business. You know, used to be a registered nurse, but a couple of years ago and decided to change and go in the financial field. And her and her husband building tremendous business out there. So they're going to be here sharing their insights on women finance. And they told me I'm not allowed to be here. So we're going to have them take over, and they told me I need to stay in the background and relax. But I'm used to it anyway, so it's okay. So even at home. So we're excited. To have them on. It's going to be an incredible show, probably the best show. And we're going to try to cram everything into one episode, but we'll probably need probably 2-3 episobs.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, man, if we're going to be touching bases and these women are going to be sharing so many gold nuggets, I'm sure we're going to need probably a part 2. But we'll let the folks watching let us know if they think we need to get these people back on here again, these powerful women. So we're talking all things women and finances. All right, you already shared their names. Here they come. Let's start with Eileen. Ooh, listen, wait, hold on. I need to get my applause. Let's get the applause. Yes, we want to get the applause going. Who else do we have? Timna.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Myra. Awesome. Awesome. All right. What are we going to do? Are we kicking Bernard out of here?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Exit left.
All right,
Bye.
we'll have you come back, Bernard. There's some questions, and we have some folks. Lisenia is already watching, and she says she's so excited about these powerful women that are on. Yes, good evening, ladies. Good evening. All right, Bernard, we'll say goodbye. We'll have you join us again when we wrap things up. Is that okay?
Yes, looking forward to it.
All right, bye. All right, ladies. For the folks that are watching, you already know I have my pen, I have my paper, and we're ready to take some notes. What we're going to do is really exciting because I have a series of questions, and these 4 questions are going to be asked to these women. Now, the ladies are playing a part that they've lived throughout their life. For example, Myra's going to be answering the question as the single woman. Am I right, Myra?
Yes.
Okay, because she knows. And then we have the side of the spouse, the person, the woman who's married, and her take on the exact same questions. Eileen, are you answering those questions?
Yes.
All right now for the wives that are out there. So we have the single women and the women who are married will be answering questions. And then we have Timna, and Timna is going to be answering with the concept of I'm the woman of the house, but I'm also the one leading the finances in my household. Am I right, Timna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, for a lot of years, I was that woman that, and I feel like I've been for a while all 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was married previously. I was the one leading the finances all those years.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go through a divorce, and then I find myself in Mayra's shoes for a year or 2 where I'm taking care of my own finances. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in a relationship with someone who he takes care of the finances and those kind of things as the spouse, and, kind of navigating what that is like. So this is going to be really exciting. Mm-hmm. All right, ladies, are you ready for your first question?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay, here we go. First of all, how did you get into the financial field? Let's just start there. Eileen, how did you get into the financial field?
Yes, I was actually looking for a part-time because I had 2 children that were special needs. So they required a lot of appointments. I had to be going to the schools. So having a full-time job was very difficult. So when I came across the opportunity to learn about the business and the financial industry, I said, okay, my goal is to obtain financial licenses because I knew the financial world is lucrative. I like working smart, not hard. And I said, okay, so I'm gonna get my licenses and I want passive residual income. I'm gonna work hard for 5 years. And at that point, which is like 25 years ago, my mentality was I need to bring home $2,000. I was happy if I just made $2,000.
Yes, look at that.
With knowing that I can probably make 5, but I really just wanted $2,000. So I knew if I obtain my licenses, I work hard for 5 years, I can create that residual and passive income.
Yes, I love that. Those were actually the 3 words that I wrote down as you were talking. Passive residual income. That's huge, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in another few moments. Yes. Mayra, how did you get into the financial field?
So I was actually introduced by one of my staff members. I used to work for the bank, and she had gone to a financial overview and talked about the fact that they were putting together a financial plan for her. And I was actually fascinated because I had, up to that point in time, I was in my 30s and I had never heard of anyone in my circle having a financial plan. And I said, wow, I said, I want you to call me tomorrow and let me know how it went. And when she called me, she was so excited about it and said, well, they're also hiring. And I said, they are, because at that point in time, I had done about 10 other businesses. I was really looking to be free. And I knew that corporate America was not going to be the answer. So I went to a business overview, and, I lived in Brooklyn at the time. I had to, the office was in the Bronx. So that was like the first scary step, right? Because I didn't know anything about getting to the Bronx. But when I got there and I listened to the information, I was so excited because I said, my God, if people knew that they could invest versus save, if people knew that, these strategies are in place, they make different decisions. And when I saw the income side of it, hands down, I said, if the money is real, and I can give people advice and get paid for that, then I'm going to definitely dive in. And that's what we did. And we were able to quit our job after a year and replace our income. And now we've actually celebrated our 27th year in business. So I'm so excited about that. We've been an entrepreneur longer than we ever had a job. We were only 13 years in corporate America. So the transition has worked, and we have an organization now of over 100 associates, 2 six-figure income earners. So we're excited about, not only where we're at, but where we're headed. So I'm sorry that was a little long-winded, but I wanted to give you a little bio.
No, that was absolutely amazing. Keywords here, also 3 words. There was a financial plan, the financial plan that you heard about, and it rang a bell for you. It was like, ding, 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 wait a minute. I need to know more about that. Call me back and let me know how that went. That was so smart of you and so intuitive of you to do that. And that ends up changing your life. Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that's so powerful. Dimna.
Yes.
How did you get into the financial field? I know we've known each other for a little bit, but I never asked you that question.
It was actually very interesting. We got invited to a workshop that the church was actually hosting, where Bernard was actually the financial advisor doing the workshop. And my husband and I went to the workshop just to see. At that moment, we really thought we were doing good. Angela and I were working hard. We were healthcare providers. So I've been a registered nurse now for 14 years. And at that time, you feel like, oh my God, I feel successful. We were about to purchase a home. We have, 2 beautiful kids, Asael and Esther. And we felt like we were at the peak of our career. Mm-hmm. And when we went to this financial workshop, guess what? We realized that we were not doing well, because everything that we had established was actually through our jobs. Everything. We didn't have anything separate from our jobs. So we realized
if you lost the job, then you lose all those things, life insurance, all those benefits.
Yes. So everything that we had established was through our jobs, and we realized we're very vulnerable. So at that moment, we requested that same day an appointment with Bernard, and we sat down with him, and we put our financial plan together. And that's how everything started. That was like the first time we had a financial needs analysis done. I never even heard of that before. So it was very new to us. And then months later, they reached out to us again, and they were like, how about, do you want to earn extra income? And I said, extra income? And I said, why not? So that's how I got introduced to the business, and we started part-time.
Yes, and that's when you get all your licenses and things of that nature, correct?
Right. So I started part-time, not with the intention of leaving my career, because I love, and I still love nursing. I love, helping people. I really, really love that, and I enjoyed it.
That's awesome. I love this story. I love that it was our financial coach who we see every single week, guys. Right. And every week I tell you, and I always make sure that we scroll his information below, contact Bernard, send him an email, sit with him. And we have 3 completely different stories here, and that is absolutely amazing. I love it. Let's go to our next question. And we're going to start with the single ladies. So Mayra, I'm going to go with you first. The next question is, what are some of the mistakes that you have seen women make when it comes to their finances? Ooh.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is that, they let their significant others sometimes lead, and they're blind when it comes to, what kind of income protection do we have as a family? Is there enough reserves like for an emergency fund? So I think that it takes a bit of knowledge and just diving into be informed in these areas, because what we've seen is that when that happens and the significant other passes away, the wife finds themselves lost. Like now they have to navigate through a very difficult situation. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say that I see is, having lack of information and just letting someone else take control. I think the other thing is just being fearful that they might not be good enough to manage the finances in the home. I know for myself, I failed algebra twice, in high school, and I just never thought that I would be in the financial arena. But when, we dived in and we had the proper information and the guidance, and obviously getting the licenses really helped us. And that's what we really encourage women to do, to be informed when it comes to different resources and opportunities that are there. And the plan that we put together really helps them to do that.
Perfect. My gosh, what an amazing answer, because that is the key right there. I've seen it. My dad passed away. My mother did not know a lot of the things that he later, when she went to go pay like the mortgage bill, for example, they told her he had already paid months in advance, knowing that he was already ill and things like that. But there were things that she just didn't know. And keeping yourself informed and knowing the ins and outs are so important, so important. So that is an amazing tip. Eileen, we got the spouse's perspective here. What are some of the mistakes that you have seen women make when it comes to their finances as a wife?
Well, it's funny because I can piggyback on what Myra says, because I've experienced sitting down with families that the wife is clueless. And I've spoken to my parents too, but I think that's a cultural thing. When you sit down with certain families, you see the culture, the man is supposed to. And it's funny because I was looking at statistics, and over the years, in decades, from the baby boomers to the millennials to Gen X, it has been rising 10%. So baby boomers 41%, millennials 51%, Gen X is 54%, where the wife is now becoming the CFO of the family. So statistically, it's already changing. But if we go back, it's because we've seen culturally that's what's been happening. And I've had countless times where I'm like, for example, my mom, I'm like, Mom, do you know this? Do you know that? And now my mom's more involved because circumstances in the family have changed, where now she has to do more of the finances to make sure everything's okay. You want to make sure the mortgage is getting paid. You want to make sure the light bill's getting paid. And I think that's the mistake. And the second one is almost similar to what Myra says, that women don't believe they can handle. And it's because of lack of knowledge. They can't believe in themselves that they can have a 6-figure income, because no one's believed in them, because they were raised a certain way, maybe just to have a regular job and take care of the kids. But as you can see, statistically, that is changing.
Yes. Yes. That's so wild. So good. Love that CFO answer for sure. And it is the lack in thinking, well, I can't manage. I don't know how to do a budget. I can't think about 401ks and IRAs, because it can be so intimidating sometimes. But once you're in, man, once we figure it out, right, Myra? We figure it out. Dimna, same question. What are some of the mistakes that you've seen women make that perhaps they're the ones leading the finances in their home?
I believe one of the biggest mistake that women make is not prioritizing themselves. They put everybody first, and they prioritize everything in the home, and they don't prioritize learning about their finances. And another thing is that they women many times underestimate their value. Okay. If you notice, a lot of times when you go to purchase, instead of them giving you their price, they wait for somebody else to price their items for them. It happens. So you see that sometimes the services, they are priced very low versus when, men are selling it. And that is it, everything comes down to lack of knowledge. not being financially literate. It creates a challenge. Many times when we sit down with women, no, my husband knows. Yes, your husband should know. Everybody in the home should know. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost like we undervalue
Right.
ourselves. And oof, so good. So good. Myra, I'm going back to you. Where do you see women right now in business and finance?
So personally, like in the company that I work with, it's about 57% of the sales force right now in my company are women. Okay. And then we also were looking at other statistics where 42% of most companies right now that are being opened up are by women. And the beautiful thing is 50% are minority women. So I just see like a transition happening right now where we're becoming more bold, we're becoming more brave to step outside the box and take some chances. My daughter, she actually opened up her own business during the pandemic. And I think that environment has a lot to do with it, because if you're in a positive environment, like although she was afraid of transitioning, I said, look, you can start in the living room. And she did. And a year later, we were opening up her studio. She just celebrated her second year in business as an esthetician. And now she's got people coming in providing other services. So sometimes we just got to take that leap, because women are dominating right now. I will tell you that. And my own organization is like 95% women. And my 2 vice presidents are women. And yeah, so we've got a very strong presence right now, which I'm excited about. And I think it's happening in the industry overall.
I love that. We are dominating. Love that. Love that. We see that. We are seeing that. Eileen.
Yes, I see women like my daughters. I have 3 daughters, 129, 127, and a 13-year-old. And all we talk about is business. I dream. I just came from Montana from a grand opening with my daughter opening a restoration business franchise. So the language in my home is 1099. You gotta find something you're passionate about and make a business out of it. I mean, in Deuteronomy 8:18, it says they were talking about the Israelites and that God was the source of their prosperity and the power to acquire. He specifically says it means Hebrew. He says get. He didn't say give, like you have it. He said go get it. Get it, meaning do it, accomplish it, make it happen. So God put that in us. The thing is that we want things to be handed to us. And I tell my daughters or all my sons that you got to go get it. You cannot be afraid. You have everything in you. God's put every gift, talent that you need. You just got to find the need and fill it. And that's the language. I see women in business. I see like Myra and Timna, we're always talking about women are dominating. Because the men, I don't know whether, I believe in partnership. I think we should move as a partnership. I encourage my children and their spouses to work in partnership. But I see the strength and the power and the force and the braveness and the encouragement, the bravery comes from women. Comes from women.
Good. That's so good. Hashtag 1099 life. That 1099 language up in my house. It's a 1099 language. I love that. And I'm encouraged listening to this as my own daughters are speaking about, we want to start a business. I have one who's saying, I want to open up a floral shop. She worked in a floral shop for a while and she got the taste of it and was like, I love this. I want to work with flowers and do those things. And how can you as a mother say, no, you can't do that. You have to have that language, that 1099 entrepreneurial language.
But we also, as the starting point generation, have to do everything we can so we can position ourselves for when our kids want it, that we can help them.
Ooh,
if we're not saving or have, then we're like, oh, then they have to fend for themselves.
Yes. So what you're saying is it's good for us to have so that way we can jumpstart that dream for them.
Exactly. Myra helped her daughter a little bit. I know that for a fact, whether it was emotionally, mentally, and financially. Her daughter went forward because she knew she had her mother's backup. She knew her mother was going to back her up.
Yeah. So good. Dimna, I need you to answer that. That's so good. Thank you, Eileen. That was amazing. Dimna, where do you see women right now? What is your view on this?
Rising, there is great. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I see women rising right now. There is more participation in leading, and in finance. You can see, as Myra and Eileen mentioned, women are getting more involved with, whether they are single or married. They are more involved in getting acquainted with financial information, and we see the growth. So and we have to learn to be a Proverbs 31,
Woman.
Yeah. That we can be wise, industrious, and entrepreneurial, and we can stand firm and know that our position, in order to see our home become successful, we have to take position and use what we know, work along with our partners to make it happen. We are not meant to take a back seat, but to be that helping hand that carries our family to become successful. And we can be great examples, not only for people out there, but actually to inspire our families, our kids.
That's so good. I love that you mentioned the Proverbs 31 woman, because we have that knack that we can make something out of nothing.
Yep.
We know how to go into the pantry when there's been no groceries, and we can create a banquet. We can create a banquet with whatever's left in the pantry, for our family. I love that. Last question before we wrap up. Here we go, Myra. What advice would you give women who have an entrepreneurial mindset, but yet they're fearful of taking that plunge and saying, let me do this?
Was a quote that I read years ago, and that really helped me in my journey. And it was by Theodore Roosevelt, and it was so simple but powerful. And he said, "The only thing to fear in life is fear itself, because fear paralyzes you. Fear, stops you from opening doors and having breakthroughs that could just absolutely change your life, right? So I think that would be one of the things. But the other thing is stop feeling guilty about leaving your children to pursue the dreams that are going to change their lives. Because as I was raised, as I was building my business, I had two kids when I started my financial business, and in the process had two more. And, of course I was feeling guilty leaving them, but I wanted that to be a short period of time. And I have to say that because we took the leap, we were able to be with our kids, see them grow up, not miss events. And it absolutely changed our life. But at the end of the day, we have to know that it's going to be worth it. The sacrifices that we're making are going to be worth it. And I think also is just knowing that, pushing through those limiting beliefs. Are we good enough? Is this going to happen for me? So we've got to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves by the proper environment, the proper mentoring coaches. And, thankfully enough, in the company that we work with, we were able to do that. We have mentoring coaches that showed us that if you never give up the fight, success is just at the other end of anything or difficult situation that you're going to go through. So in the end, it's all worth it. So I would say push through your fears.
This is so good. Look, I'm watching Bernard backstage, and he's like shaking his head, like this is real. This is good. So good. So to the single moms out there, it's true. I'm sure that there's those moments where you feel guilty because you're leaving the babies, but just knowing that the future is secure, and because you're working towards something that they'll be able to enjoy later on. Eileen, answer that same question for us. What advice would you give to these women?
Yes, I was single for just a minute. A minute. And I have a mantra, right? And it's to stop making excuses, right? Because our kids are not an excuse. They're a reason. They're the reason to do what you have to do. That's why
wait. You got to say that again for the people in the back.
Okay, kids are not an excuse. They are the reason to do what you have to do.
So good.
So my advice is to stop making excuses and do it anyway, despite of whatever's you either coming or going or into something. So might as well push through it. And if you can write this, if you're writing notes, write the word excuses, equal sign, the word no, and a dollar sign. Excuses equals no money. So keep on with your excuses. You're not going to have no money. But if you eliminate the excuse and make your children as a reason, you're going to get things done. It's going to happen for you.
Okay, somebody's got to put that in the comments. Excuses equals the equal sign, no, and then the money sign. Because we need the people that are going to be watching the replay. We want them to see the comments. This is so good. This is so good. Dimna, I need you to answer the exact same question. What advice would you give to these women?
You got to start before you're ready. A lot of women are waiting for the perfect time, for the sun and the moon to align to get started. And it's not going to happen. Every day challenges will come and you just have to get started. Okay, that is the first thing. You start even when you don't feel ready. And fear to a certain level, it's normal. It is normal to feel fear, okay? However, you cannot let it be your decision maker, okay? You cannot. And know that confidence comes with action. It comes with practice. So go out there and show up every day, And those that have a job, just know your job will keep you occupied the rest of your life if you let it. Make time for your business every day. Even if it's an hour in the night or early in the morning, but you have to make time for your business.
Oof,
in order for you to become successful. And you're
so
capable.
Listen, I love that. I love that. Dimna, that was amazing. Carrillo says, what a way to end Women's Month and start Action April. I love that. Couldn't wait to hear this, but we can't wait to hear a part two. Ready, set, learn. Let's do this. I don't know. As we wrap this up, let's go ahead. Should we bring the host back?
Yeah. Should we bring him back?
I guess we could bring him back. All right, Bernard. What did you think of this? Like those questions.
This was incredible, man. Incredible. I was like, shaking my head. They did an incredible job. Really, really great gems, not only for women but men in general. This was a universal message that all of us can apply, man. I mean, very strong women, different backgrounds, but the right mindset, and that's the power of what we have. Listen, we need to have a part 2, part 3 on this because we want to hear that. We want to hear more from late women, and even in the financial field, women are taking more lead role, like Aline talked about, and the finances. It's so important to do that. Literally, even me personally, right? I mean, literally 70% of my client are women.
Really?
Almost 70% of my client are women, believe it or not. So that tells you how impactful women are in their finance, how they need to take over, especially with different dynamics, how society is happening right now, that they have to take the lead, they have to take charge, and they have to be more involved. And they have to be more involved also making the decisions and financial field also. So this is incredible. I love this.
What an amazing topic this was. After 30, this is our 30th episode. And I think this is going to be one of my favorites, one of the top ones. Definitely an episode that you're going to want to watch again and take notes, because all the girls here, they all had some amazing gold nuggets. Yes. And they were dropping the mic.
Yes, absolutely.
So good. Thank you all so much for watching. This was fantastic. Eileen, any last words? Timna, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Imaira, thank you for all of you, the wealth of knowledge that you shared here as well. What an excellent episode, Bernard. We love you, Coach. And we know that.
Love you guys too. Incredible. Love this.
So we'll be back. Eileen says, we'll be back.
Continue.
They got to kick me backstage again next time, right?
It would be nice to have a Q&A because
Yes.
you get unique questions, you know.
Yes. I think that's what we need to do. We need to start developing and gathering at least, we only did 4 questions and then everyone was able to share in the 30 minutes. So if we get another 4 questions, but guys, you got to put it in the comments. You got to put it in the comments so that Bernard can gather those questions and we can come back and do a part 2, the women's perspective of this of money and finance. Lisenia says no more men. No men. No men. That's good. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next Tuesday, this exact same place, this exact same time, with All Things Money Matters here at the Army Empire Podcast. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.